Hey guys, welcome to the channel and another video. Today I'm going to be watching Chernobyl season finale, episode 5, Vichnaya Pamyat. Last episode, The Happiness of All Mankind, was particularly hard to watch, and in a way, I'm kind of glad that we've reached the final episode of this fantastic horror show based on real events. Last week, we saw the entire area being evacuated while many hundreds of workers and volunteers were brought in to clean up and kill the local wildlife to prevent the spread of radiation. The killing of the dogs were very hard to watch. We also learned about a similar incident to Chernobyl that happened in 1975. It's implied that the design of the power plant might have been flawed, so that's the main thing I'm expecting from this episode. And also the fact that the Soviet government covered it up back in the day. They actually ripped out the pages, or I think blanked them out. So, bureaucracy. One more thing that was so messed up in the previous episode was seeing Ludmila, Vasily's wife, the firefighter's wife, losing her child and just staring blankly at nothing. I cannot begin to imagine the pain she was going through. Without further ado, let's start with the finale of Chernobyl. But before we get into it, to help support the channel, I have a Patreon page for full-length reviews and reactions to this show and over 120 movies, TV shows, early access, and weekly polls for what to watch next. You'll need your own copy to watch along. The link's in the description below, by the way. Please consider being a patron. Please subscribe to the channel. Click that bell icon for instant notifications. Do check out my other videos. Like if you liked this video, dislike it if you didn't. With all that being said, let's get started. Chernobyl, episode 5, Mazin. Let's go.
We're going to put Dyatlov on trial. We're going to be asked to give expert testimony.
You've seen this before.
I had no idea it could cause an explosion.
Someone has to start telling the truth.
I hope we get some explanation on why the explosion happened, because it's only been alluded to so far. Is this a flashback? I thought her storyline would have been over. Yeah, this is a flashback. They have no idea what will happen to their town.
With your approval, we're ready to continue lowering power to...
You have to wait. I've just had a call from the grid controller in Kiev. He says we can't lower power any further, not for another 10 hours.
The grid controller? Where does he get off
It's
telling
not
us
the
to-
grid controller's decision, Dyatlov.
It's nobody's decision.
So do we have to scrap it or what?
No, I don't think so.
We'll maintain at 1600. I'll go home, get some sleep, come back tonight. We'll proceed then. I'll personally supervise the test.
Oh man, he just took responsibility. Now we're probably going back to the present. So I think that scene was meant to imply that if they shut off the reactor 10 hours earlier, this probably could have been avoided.
How do you feel? From Vienna. At last, a Soviet scientist who tells the truth.
The conference already happened.
The West is now satisfied that Chernobyl was solely the result of operator error, which it essentially was.
Propagated the propaganda. Oh no.
Hero of the Soviet Union.
And he's getting a medal for it.
Promotion to director of the Kurchatov Institute.
And a promotion.
The reactors would be made safe. It's been months. No changes have been made. No changes even discussed.
First, the trial.
Dude, that could happen to any of the running reactors at any time, but nope. They have to find the villains first and the heroes first. And we already learned from the first scene of the first episode that Legasov commits suicide.
Did you take a train?
Ulana.
Yes, I took a train.
Chokov is saying they're going to fix the reactors after the trial.
Do you believe him?
I don't.
You're going to convince a jury.
It's a show trial. The jury's already been handed their verdict.
I'm not talking about them.
I really want to see the trial.
The Central Committee have invited members of the scientific community to observe the trial. If we...
Do you know what happened to Volkov, the man whose report you found? They just removed him from his position at the Institute.
The music is so ominous.
Reactor number 4 was not new when the accident occurred. In order to sign this certificate, all safety tests had to have been successfully completed.
The dude on the right looks so guilty and scared.
The core's heat turns the water to steam, and the steam spins the turbine here, and the result is electricity. If there's no power, the pumps cannot move water through the core, and without water, the core overheats. In short, a nuclear disaster. Any questions? The science is strong, but a test is only as good as the men carrying it out.
That shift in focus from Boris to the accused.
Comrade Pamyat.
Oh, they're giving their testimony one by one.
To understand what happened that night, we have to go back 10 hours earlier. Power grid officials in Kiev say that they cannot afford a further reduction in electricity until after midnight. They are asking for a 10-hour delay. Why was this delay so dangerous? It created 2 problems. At midnight, there is a shift change.
To us? We don't know what it is. I have to do something I've never done before with Dyatlov looking over my shoulder.
Oh, don't worry. We'll do it together.
They have no idea what they're doing.
Is it too much to ask that you all know what you're doing?
Well, yes, absolutely.
Poor kid on the right.
I've never done this with the power so low before. It's okay, I'm with you.
I want you to think of Yuri Gagarin.
The first man to space.
I want you to imagine that he has been told nothing of his mission into space until the moment that he is on the launch pad. This is the human problem created by the delay. But inside the reactor core, in the space between the atoms themselves, something far more dangerous is forming. Poison.
I hope he actually tells the truth. I'm not looking forward to it.
The reactivity which generates power either goes up or it goes down. All the operators do is maintain balance. Fuel increases reactivity. Control rods and water reduce it. Steam increases it. The rise in temperature reduces it. As uranium splits apart to release energy, it breaks down into a new element, xenon. Xenon reduces reactivity. This is the poison Comrade Pamyat mentioned.
Okay. They're close to the 700 target though.
Whoa, slow.
I didn't move any rods there.
Holy crap! It's going down so fast. As much as I hate Dyatlov, I love the actor.
What did you do? I did what you said, I switched...
Look at it! Raise power to 700.
We can't raise the power from here. The rules.
Don't talk to me about rules.
If we fall from 80%...
No, we fell from 50% of
From
power.
50%, it's even
The rules
worse.
don't say 50. There is no rule. See, if I say it's safe, it's safe. And if the 2 of you disagree, then you don't have to work here, and you won't.
I would like you to record your command.
Raise the power. I wasn't even there.
I knew it.
I wasn't in the room when they raised the power.
Wow.
Comrade Pamyat interviewed everyone who was in the control room that night. They all told the same story.
Court is now in recess, 30 minutes.
I think I'm slowly starting to get what the problem with the design was. It was xenon buildup in the core which poisoned it, and then they raised the power which somehow caused the explosion.
Time passed and I thought it wouldn't happen to me. I wasted it. When they told me they were putting me in charge of the cleanup, and they said it wasn't serious, I believed them. I hoped that one day I would matter, but I didn't.
Wow. Coming to that realization.
They mistakenly sent the one good man. God's sakes, Boris. You were the one who mattered most.
But he'll never get recognition for it.
At 30 megawatts, xenon is still being created, but none of it is burning away. Akimov and Toptonov have only one course of action. they begin pulling control rods out.
Increasing the heat.
It's 1 a.m. The test is minutes away.
If we add more water, there will be even
I
less...
said it's enough. I know what I'm doing. Stelyachuk.
What do you even say to that, man? I'm at a loss for words.
The Dyatlov didn't care. All he wanted to do was report a completed test. The computer is recommending that the reactor be shut down.
Well, of course it's saying that. It doesn't know we're running a test.
Steam increases reactivity, increases heat, increases steam.
Another cycle.
Increases reactivity.
What did you do?
You press AZ5, all of the control rods insert at once, and the reaction is stopped, dead. But
Tell your lies.
Comrade Dyatlov, you will not be warned again.
Or what? For God's sake. No way to avoid what was coming. He knows something.
Court will...
I haven't finished.
Let him finish.
The shutdown system had a fatal flaw. The fully withdrawn control rods begin moving back into the reactor. The tips are made of graphite, which accelerates reactivity.
Oh.
Why? We don't use properly enriched fuel in our cores. It's cheaper.
Oh my goodness, he just accused the state.
The control rod and fuel channel caps, which each weigh 350 kilograms, are jumping up and down.
Jeez.
We do not know how high the power went. We only know the final reading.
Holy crap. What an explosion. Jeez. And this is where we start the show, after the explosion.
No one in the room that night knew the shutdown button could act as a detonator. I've already trod on dangerous ground. We're on dangerous ground right now because of our secrets and our lies.
Oh. Silence. Oh my goodness. And he's being reprimanded immediately, which he probably expected even before he gave his testimony. I wonder if he's regretting his decision as a human for self-preservation. I wonder whether that's at play or not, or whether he's convinced that he did the right thing.
You were the Communist Party secretary. In that position, you limited the promotion of Jewish scientists.
Oh no.
You're one of us like ourselves. I can do anything I want with you. You're not brave. You're not heroic. And your idiot obsession with reason.
Your idiot obsession with reason.
Your testimony today will not be accepted by the state. It will not be disseminated in the press. It never happened.
Jeez.
You will not communicate with anyone about Chernobyl ever again.
If I refuse,
why worry about something that isn't going to happen?
Why worry about something that isn't going to happen?
This laugh is from disbelief. At the beginning of the first episode, we saw him... Oh my god, that's a goodbye. We saw him write something or tape something and give it to a reporter or hide it somewhere. Is that how the world knows about what exactly happened, or...?
To be a scientist is to be naive.
That's the tape we've heard in the first episode. Oh. That's the real Legasov. Took his own life at the age of 51. 2 years. Oh man. What a brave man. His suicide made it impossible for them to be ignored. Wow, that suicide was a statement almost. The character of Ulana was created to represent them all and honor their dedication. Oh, Ulana was a composite of many different scientists. August 1990, 4 years. Just like Legasov predicted, in a couple of years, Anatoly, they all look alike. They all look like they're actors. Their roles, blah, 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 sentenced to 10 years of hard labor. Oh. Wow. The people who watched from the railway bridge, it's been reported none survived. Oh wow. It's now known as the Bridge of Death. 3 divers who drained the bubbler tanks as a result. Oh, wow. They were heroes. Oh! They survived! And 2 are still alive today. Wow. Gorbachev. At least he made some competent decisions. Yeah, we will never know because there were no official bloody records. Okay, I took some time to collect my thoughts. First off, what a fantastic finale to one of the best miniseries I've ever seen. Easily. This show will stand up to the test of time for a long while. Craig Mazin is a brilliant writer who I'll be following in the future for sure. It was amazing how he humanized the rigid structure of the Soviet Union. How he showed us good people exist everywhere, and because of these good people, a lot of humans survived, a lot of lives were saved. Without them, and with the incompetence of the Soviet bureaucracy, there would have been no way to prevent countless other deaths. More land would have been uninhabitable, and the radiation would have probably entered the water supply, ruining the soil and poisoning countless others. This show will look into bureaucracy and humanity. What is the cost of lies? That was the final line uttered by Legasov in the show, and it perfectly summarized the entire story. The episode actually gave us a proper explanation as to why the reactor exploded in the first place. So basically, as I understand it, the balance of heat and cold was disrupted. When the power to the core was lowered, there was xenon buildup, which is essentially poison. They removed the water and the control rods, and then they tried starting up the core again. That was an extremely dangerous and dumb thing to do. And although it was mostly Anatoly Dyatlov's fault for not following protocol at all, he believed that pressing the AZ5 button would shut everything down, so in his mind he can rationalize it. The thing is, due to a design flaw of the reactor itself, that is exactly what caused the explosion in the first place. The tips of the control rods, they were made from graphite, which is reactive in comparison with boron, the stuff the rest of the rod was made of. Legasov bravely accuses the Soviet government of this and gets reprimanded immediately. His final act before his suicide was to distribute that tape we saw in the first episode of the truth to the scientific community. Even in death, Legasov was a hero. We learned that Ulana was a composite character of many scientists that helped Legasov along the way. That was a surprise, but a good one. Also, Boris was shown to have regrets and doubts in leadership. I thought at the end of the day, Boris was one of the most interesting characters. I loved his arc from being an ignorant bureaucrat. That might be a little too far, but being an ignorant bureaucrat to somebody who was genuinely helpful and introspective. It's sad, especially I remember in that scene, I think in episode 3 or 4, when he gets the news that he has 5 years to live, he just shuts off and just sits down at that realization. That was powerful stuff. Anyways, Dyatlov himself died a slow and painful death. He deserved the rest of his life in prison, but I wouldn't wish radiation poisoning on my worst enemy. I think I've said that before. What a horrible way to die. I love the epilogue where the actual faces of the people were shown. It went a long way in putting faces to these characters that we've been witnessing for 5 whole episodes. Before the conclusion, I just want to say HBO did a wonderful job with the production of the show. Everything seemed authentic and real. I could tell that they spent a lot of money making things as accurate as possible, starting from the acting, to the sets and props, to the music and cinematography. They were all of the highest caliber. Most of the time, HBO makes the best shows. And this is why. Overall, at the end of it all, Chernobyl was a story of incompetence, of the Soviet government, and the brave men and women who sacrificed themselves to save as many people as they could, even at the detriment of their own safety. This was a fantastic show that I highly recommend to anyone and everyone. It was horrifying, but I couldn't stop watching. It really opened my eyes to some of the horrors of the world. Thank you so much for recommending this fantastic show, guys. It was well worth my time. Anyways, thank you for watching. I have a Patreon page. Consider me a patron. Subscribe to the channel. Click that bell icon for instant notifications. Do check out my other videos. Like if you liked this video. Dislike if you didn't. I will see you in the next one. Bye.